I'm Effie, and this video is going to be my complete owned physical TBR. So I don't actually know how many books I own. I especially don't know how many books I own that I haven't read. I'm going to guess a lot. My hope, for no reason other than it feels like a nice round number, is that I have under 500 books. But hopefully the me that's editing this video will put a counter on screen as we go along. A couple of things to note. I do not include my Terry Pratchett's in the count because they sit in the liminal space where they are both books for display and books to be read. Much like I've got some antique books on that bookshelf there, the one with the doors, which I don't count because their purpose is to be beautiful. I hope that makes sense. The other thing to know is at the time that I'm filming this video, the St. Martin's Press boycott is ongoing. So there may be books missing from this video because they are published by St. Martin's Press. And I'm going to get straight into it because this is probably going to be a fairly long video. So I will see you in probably several hours to say bye at the end. The Blade itself, Before They Are Hanged, Last Argument of Kings, and Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Watership Down by Richard Adams. Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tommy Adeyemi. Mad, Bad and Dangerous to Know by Samira Ahmed. The Hazelwood and Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. Because You Love to Hate Me, edited by Amory. All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders. The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. The Pharmacist by Rachel Attala. Wonder Woman Warbringer by Lee Bardugo. Fallen Thorns by Harvey Oliver Baxter. This Wicked Fate, You're Not Supposed to Die by Kaylin Bayron. The Fiancé Farce by Alexandra Belfleur. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Chasing the Stars by Mallory Blackman. Lucky Ghost by Matthew Blackstead. The Baby Is Mine by Oyakam Braithwaite. Exquisite Corpse by Poppy Z. Bright. The 39 Steps by John Buchan. Fledgling by Octavia E. Butler. Gaio by Junji Ito. Devilman Volume 2 by Go Nagai. What You Need to Be Warned by Neil Gaiman. Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganucho. Law Volume 3 and Law Volume 4 by Rachel Smith. A Game of Life or Death by Triona Campbell. Graceling, Fire and Bitter Blue by Kristen Kashaw. Spellslinger and Soulbinder by Sebastian de Castell. 13 by Steve Kavanagh. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. A Closed and Common Orbit. Record of a Spaceborne Few. And To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. Bestiary by K. Ming Chang. Lady Midnight and The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. Forestfall by Lyndall Clipston. Close Your Eyes by Nikki Cloak. Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. Blue Bloods, Revelations, Masquerade, The Van Allen Legacy, and Misguided Angel by Melissa de la Cruz. A Winter's Promise by Christelle de Boer. All of the Above, and Under My Skin by Juno Dawson. Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Blood Witch, and The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Toxic by Natasha Devon. Mortal Chaos by Matt Dickinson. The Dark Wife by S.E. Dimer. At Night All Blood is Black by David Diop. Pirate Cinema and Homeland by Cory Doctorow. He Started It by Samantha Downing. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Sex Life, 44 chapters about 4 men. Skin, Speed, Star, and Suit by B.B. Easton. Bitter, Freshwater, and Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. Dream a Little Dream by Giovanna Fletcher. The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. Good Girls Die First by Catherine Foxfield. The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen. Two Sisters, A Story of Freedom, and If You Read This by Corinne Gatton, Under Rose-Tainted Skies by Louise Gornall, Chaos and Flame by Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland, Beasts of Ruin by Ayanna Gray, Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee, These Infinite Threads by Tahara Mafi, Female Husbands by Jen Mannion, Reprieve by James Han Matson, The Many Half-Lived Lives of Sam Sylvester by Maya McGregor, Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, Animal Farm, Burmese Days, A Clergyman's Daughter, Coming Up for Air, Keep the Aspidistra Flying, and 1984 by George Orwell, Adjustment Day by Chuck Palahniuk, An Ordinary Wonder by Buki Papillon, Orpheus Builds a Girl by Heather Parry, The Language of Dead Flowers by Charlotte Amelia Poe, There's No Time Like the Present by Paul B. Rainey, Time Lord Fairy Tales by Justin Richards, Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson, The Five by Hayley Rubenhold, The Little Prince by Antoine Saint-Exupéry, Harvest of Sighs by Sierra Simone, After Parties by Anthony Villacena So, The Grief Nurse by Angie Sapoto, Home by Kayleen Steed, Dracula by Bram Stoker, Court of the Undying Seasons by A.M. Strickland, The Queen and I by Sue Townsend, The Other People by C.J. Tudor, Burn Down Rise Up by Vincent Torrado, The Trick to Time by Kit DeVoel, Artemis by Andy Weir, The Spirit Engineer by A.J. West, Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White, In Black and White by Alexandra Wilson, Adults by Emma Jane Unsworth, Blood Air, and Red Tigress by Amelia Wenzow. From Hell by Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell, Sleepwalk and Other Stories by Adrian Tamine, Fine Print Volume 1 by Stefan Sajep, Come Together, edited by Tab Kimpton and Alex Assan, Ambrosia, edited by Tab Kimpton and Jade Sarson, Nectar, edited by Tab Kimpton and Harry Ann Bentley, Sir, Butler and Boy, Shades of A by Tab Kimpton, Wake by Rebecca Hall, Imagine Wanting Only This by Kristen Radka, Mycroft Holmes and the Apocalypse Handbook by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Mohammed, Don't Call Me Crazy, edited by Kelly Jensen, Salt on Our Skin by Benoit Groult, The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon, Reforged by Seth Haddon, Remesa Ever After by Radia Hafeizer, Unraveller by Frances Hardinge, The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millwood Hargrave, A Storm of Sisters by Michelle Harrison, A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, Shame on You by Amy Hedendrich, Burial at Thebes by Seamus Heaney, The Gas Cat by Takashi Harade, Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman, All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, The Rabbit Back Literature Society by Pasi Ilmari Jaskalainen, The Last Act of Adam Campbell by Andy Jones, How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House by Sherry Jones, Silver Sparrow by Tayari Jones, Fallen by Lauren Kate, The Health of Strangers, Songs by Dead Girls, Death at the Plague Museum, and Murder at the Music Factory by Leslie Kelly, Hidden Bodies by Caroline Kepnes, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey, Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes, The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova, Whisper to Me by Nick Lake, Skullduggery Pleasant, Mortal Coil by Derek Landy, Orange Volume 1 by Ichigo Takano, Battle Royale Volume 10, Volume 11, Volume 12, Volume 13, Volume 14, and Volume 15 by Koshin Takami and Masayuki Taguchi. I Married My Best Friend Who Shut My Parents Up by Kodama Naoko. The Two of Them Are Pretty Much Like This by Takeshi Ikeda. Skip Beat Volumes 4-5-6 by Yoshiki Nakamura. I Hear the Sunspot Limit 2 and Limit 3 by Yuki Firmino. A Girl on the Shore by Inio Asano. The Promised Neverland Volume 1 by Kayu Shirai. Heroes Omnibus edited by Neil Edwards. Cats of the Louvre by Taiyo Matsumoto. I Have a Secret by Yoru Sumino. Ten Dance Volume 1 by Inu Satoa. Cirque du Freak Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, and Volume 6 by Darren Shan and Takahiro Arai. Death Note All-in-One Edition by Tsugumi Oba. The Dark Lady by Akala. The Water Garden by Louise Soroya Black. Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chapeko. Girl 11 by Amy Suter Clark. Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. A Universe of Wishes by Danielle Clayton. Under the Sycamore Tree by B. Celeste. Fists of Justice, Heroes and Villains by Zachary Coleman. Tris 6 Venom by Penelope Douglas. Manhunt by Gretchen Felker Martin. Torment by Lauren Kate. Keisha the Sket by Jade L.B. Don't Ask Me Where I'm From by Jennifer De Leon. The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. The Female of the Species by Mindy McGuinness. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Ghostkin by Ellen Mellor. XOXO by Axie O. All American Boys by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Keeley. The Complete Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa. Silver in the Mist by Emily Victoria. Imposters, Peeps by Scott Westerfeld. Orlando by Virginia Woolf. Native Son by Richard Wright. Gangster Rep by Benjamin Zephaniah. If I Can't Have You by Charlotte Levin. The Gracekeepers by Kirsty Logan. 8 Perfect Hours by Leah Lewis. Rest in Pieces by Bess Lovejoy. Young Elites, Midnight Star, and The Rose Society by Marie Lu. A Taste of Darkness by various authors. American Royals by Catherine McGee. A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next by Karen McManus. Like a Charm by Elle McNichol. In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahara Mafi. Le Mort d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Mallory. Chronicle of a Death Foretold by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Red Sparrow by Jason Matthews. The Twins by L.V. Matthews. Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. 5 Little Lies by Amanda K. Morgan. Beloved and God Help the Child by Toni Morrison. Death in Heels by Kitty Murphy. The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. Invisible Monsters Remix by Chuck Palahniuk. Apple and Knife by Intan Paramaditha. Gleanings by Neil Schusterman. Birth of a Killer, Ocean of Blood, Palace of the Damned, and Brothers to the Death by Darren Shan. Salt to the Sea, I Must Betray You, and Between the Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepeti. Bad Gods by Gay Sebold. Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. Her Dark Wings by Melinda Salisbury. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. If You Don't Have Anything Nice to Say, and This Song Will Save You by Layla Sales. If I Was Your Girl, and Birthday by Meredith Russo. The Female Man by Joanna Russ. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. The Haunting of Tyrese Walker by J.P. Rose. Death in Spring by Mercy Rodoreda. Killer Content by Kylie Roach. Never Look Back by Lillian Rivera. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse. Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth. And Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian. The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Heartstream by Tom Pollock. Ghost Towns by Charlotte Amelia Poe. 13 Minutes by Sarah Pinborough. The Midnight Club by Christopher Pike. Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Patterson. Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lainey Taylor. The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas. On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. House of Shells by Efua Traore. Disappearance at Devil's Rock. Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. Blood Orange by Harriet Tice. Panic by Jeff Abbott. The Salmon of Doubt by Douglas Adams. Threepenny Novel by Bertolt Brecht. Empress and Anaya by Candace Carty-Williams. The Dark is Rising by Susan Cooper. The Demon Headmaster and The Revenge of the Demon Headmaster by Gillian Cross. The Nightingales Are Drunk by Hafez. Moomin Midwinter by Tove Jansson. Priest, Sinner and Saint by Sierra Simone. The Undetectables by Courtney Smith. The Exact Opposite of OK by Laura Stephen. Once Upon a Crime by Robin Stevens. Fear Street, The Beginning by R.L. Stein. The Amulet of Samarkand by Jonathan Stroud. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Sutanto. Six Suspects by Vika Swarup. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Real Life by Brandon Taylor. The Language of Seabirds by Will Taylor. The Well of Ascension The Hero of Ages, and Mistborn's Secret History by Brandon Sanderson, Must Do Better by Kate Weston, Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, and The Daylight Gate by Jeanette Winterson, Cookie by Jacqueline Wilson, The Extinction Trials, Exile, and The Extinction Trials Rebel by S.M. Wilson, The Agency for Scandal by Laura Wood, Bandersnatch, edited by Paul Tremblay, Now Go, On Grief and Studio Ghibli by Carl Thomas Smith, Bioshock Rapture by John Shirley, Satans and Shaitans by Obina Ubenwe, The Merciless by Daniel Vega, Your Turn to Die by Sue Wallman, The Life and Death Parade by Ella Wass, Blood to Poison, The Wicker Light, and The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson, What Dreams May Come by Richard Matheson, Disfigured by Amanda Leduc, Knights and Bikes by Gabriel Kent, Feed by Mira Grant, The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Ring, and The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker, You Made a Fool Out of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi, Make You Mine This Christmas by Lizzie Huxley Jones, Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Book of Night by Holly Black, Cruel Illusions by Margie Thurston, Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon, A River Enchanted, Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross, The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed, A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk, Song of Silver Flames Like Night by Amelia Wenzel, Red Scholar's Wake by Aliette de Bodard, Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh, Little Thieves by Margaret Owen, The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland, Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee, The Sun and the Void by Gabriela Romero La Cruz, Passengers by Will Ashen, Belonging by Amanda Thompson, Boyfriends by Michael Penderson, Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel, Book of Goose by Yi Yun Lee, Dinosaurs by Lydia Millett, The Gilded Crown by Marianne Gordon, Trust by Hernan Diaz, Death on the Trans-Siberian Express by C.J. Farrington, Tenderness by Alison MacLeod, Shrines of Gaiety by Kate Atkinson, The Darlings of the Asylum by Noel O'Reilly, The Leviathan by Rosie Andrews, Learwife by J.R. Thorpe, When We Were Birds by Ayanna Lloyd Banwo, Truly Darkly Deeply by Victoria Selman, The Cartographers by Penn Shepherd, A Strange and Brilliant Light by Eli Lee, The Second Sight of Zachary Cloudsley by Sean Lusk, The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozaki, The Things We Do to Our Friends by Heather Darwent, Poster Girl by Veronica Roth, Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chow, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon, The Lives of Puppets by T.J. Clune, Spells for Forgetting by Adrian Young, Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim, If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sung, Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, Threads That Bind by Kika Hatsapolu, Bonesmith by Nikki Powell-Prito, Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaefer, Only a Monster by Vanessa Lan, Belladonna by Adeline Grace, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O, Animal Joy by Noir Alistair, This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, Nevada by Imogen Binney, Milkfed by Melissa Broder, Afterlove by Tanya Byrne, Shipwrecked, All the Feels, and Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade, Exciting Times by Nisha Dolan, The Pachinko Parlor by Elisa Shuar-Dusapin, Dear Santhuran by Akwaeke Emezi, Beasts of Prey by Ayanna Gray, The Mercies by Kieran Millwood Hargrave, Defy the Night by Bridget Camerara, Luster by Raven Leilani, Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, Seven Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb, My First Popsicle by Zosha Mamet, Vagabonds by Eloghosa Asunde, An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan, Christmas Days by Jeanette Winterson, All Men Want to Know by Nina Barayu, Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber, The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling, A Shock by Keith Ridgway, The Whale Tattoo by John Ranson, The Magnificent Sons by Justin Mayers, Ace of Spades by Farida Ibike Iyemedi, Take It Back by Kia Abdullah, Sharp Ends by Joe Abercrombie, The Beautiful, The Wrath and the Dawn, and The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Adier, In Every Mirror She's Black by Lola Akimedi Akastrom, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie, Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Broken Wings by Virginia Andrews, Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, Heart of Thorns by Brie Barton, We Had to Remove This Post by Hannah Burvot, Yinka, Where's Your Husband by Lizzie Damilola Blackburn, The Atlas 6, The Atlas Paradox, Alone with You in the Ether, and One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake, The Edge of Being by James Brandon, The Gathering Dark, edited by Tori Bovalino, Dinosaurs on Other Planets by Danielle McLaughlin, Parallel Hells by Leon Craig, Transmogrify, edited by G. Harron Davis, A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown, Queen of the Conquered by Kaysen Callender, Way of the Argosy by Sebastian de Castell, The Madness of Grief by Reverend Richard Coles, Reader I Murdered Him by Betsy Cornwell, The Bells by Danielle Clayton, The Familiar Volume 1 by Mark Z. Danielewski, Sight Witch and Witch Shadow by Susan Dennard, These Impossible Things by Salma El Wadani, Leech by Hiron Enns, Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez, Girl Goddess Queen by B. Fitzgerald, With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher, Robber Girl and A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin, These Violent Delights, Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, The Appeal by Janice Hallett, Death Notice by Zhu Hao Hu, Deep Light by Frances Hardinge, The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow, Great Vampire Stories by various authors, Betty by Tiffany McDaniel, Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Corr, Fairy Tale by Stephen King, Master of One by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett, The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of a Window and Disappeared by Jonas Johansson, A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, The Black House by Carol Johnston, The P.D. James Omnibus featuring An Unsuitable Job for a Woman, Death of an Expert Witness, and Innocent Blood, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, Hummingbird by Tristan Hughes, The Walker Book of Ghost Stories edited by Susan Hill, The Extraordinaries and The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuznaya, Scary Monsters by Michelle de Kretzer, Death and the Penguin by Andrei Kirchhoff, Woman Eating by Claire Coda, That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf by Kimberly Lemming, Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb, Skullduggery Pleasant Deathbringer by Derek Landy, The Giver Quartet by Lois Lowry, Deep in Providence by Rhys M. Nielsen, How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu, Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerry Maniscalco, Wahala by Nikki May, The Nishan Smile by C.J. Merwild, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Good Morning Good Night by Lin-Manuel Miranda, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, The Grace of Kings, The Wall of Storms, The Veiled Throne, and Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. So that is my complete unread TBR. If the future me that's editing this video has done their job properly, then we should have had a running count throughout this video, and the total number of unread physical books I own is this. Comment down below if there's any of these books you think I should be prioritising, or conversely, if there's any of these books that you think I should just unhaul and not bother with. And feel free to hit the subscribe button if you'd like to find out my thoughts on the books that are lining my shelves at the moment, because at the end of the day I make these videos to chat about books. But that's everything that I've got for you today, so until tomorrow, love you, bye.